Hey there, my Scorpio Collective. Welcome to my channel. Happy New Year, Twinfinite Divinity Tarot. I hope you're all well, happy, healthy, wealthy, and abundant. Okay, we're going to take a look at the first 3 months of the year. It is an 8 years, so any manifestations that you put in place now or have put in recently are in the flow of abundance this year. 8 is a very abundant number. It is also the year of the dragon, and dragons are mystical and ethereal and beautiful, right? So I'm going to pull from the Dragon's Oracle to begin to get an overall view of what this year might hold for you. Also, if you would like to be entered into the surprise tongue twister, all you have to do is leave a comment down below, like the video, and be subscribed to my channel. Alright, so let's begin. Okay, so we have death. And death isn't imminent of actual death. Death is laying down the old and bringing in the new. Death is also associated with your sign, Scorpio. So it's like being reborn. It's the phoenix type of energy, right? Like laying down the old so that you can have something new. But let's get some more information and see. And as always, I want to thank you guys for all the love and support you give to my channel always. It means so much to me. No matter how big or small, all your likes, comments, donations, all of that is greatly appreciated. Okay. Let's see, one more card for March, please. One card. Okay. Alright. So the first card out is the Ace of Swords, or the Ace of Air. You could receive some communication in the month of January. You could receive some kind of clarity around a certain situation, some kind of information coming in that helps to bring truth and honesty and clarity, right? February, it shows the Four of Swords, or the Four of Air, and that card is all about healing and resting. So you might need to take a rest in February, or you might need to do some healing in February. I'm going to get clarifiers to see possibly why or in what regards. And then we have the Four of Cups in March. Now the Four of Cups is normally apathetic or bored or not really liking the choices that are around you. Being focused more on what has gone instead of what is in the present moment. Lots of fours here. 44 could be of significance to you as well. But let's see. And then 44 could be your age, or okay, one more card. Okay. So what's clarifying this Ace of Air is the Four of Cups, the Eight of Cups, and the King of Cups. This could be just clarity around something that you've grown bored of. There could be something going on in your life that should be exciting, should be great, should be wonderful, but you can't see your happiness there anymore. So in turn you walk away because you know that a great love is lying on the other side of it, right? And so even though you have a lot of love for the cups you're leaving behind, they're not fulfilling to yourself. And normally with the Eight of Cups, it's walking from what currently is into the unknown. But it's also right before the Nine of Cups, so it's basically walking towards your happiness, what truly makes you happy as a person. And it could be walking towards a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or just an individual that is very emotionally intelligent, has gone through a lot, clarifying the Four of Swords as far as what needs healing, we have here the Devil, the Six of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. This is healing from toxicity in regards to past relationships. Past relationships don't have to be a counterpart. They could involve family, friends, just things that have brought nothing but poison into your life. And in turn, when you walk away from the things that don't serve you, the things start to change with the Wheel of Fortune here. And that could also require you to do some healing with the Four of Swords in order to fully let go of the toxicity from the past in order to make that change. Because if you were to go back to the past or go back to a relationship that was nothing but toxic, you're going to spin the wheel backwards instead of forwards. And so really it's up to you whether you have the courage to walk away and like move forward with your life and to heal the things that have kept you stuck for a while. Okay. So the Four of Cups, I've got the Judgment card, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. You're bored and discontent because you've looked back on your life and you've said, you know what, I've waited for something that's taken a very long time to get here. And in that, I've deceived myself into believing that my happiness lied within another person. And that's left me cold and detached and just not really enjoying my life. I'm sitting here waiting for something that may never happen. And I've kind of deceived myself along the way. You probably had a lot of really good intentions with the Seven of Swords, because the Seven of Swords, the main meaning behind that is the man sees a war going on, so he grabs up the swords to try to prevent the war, and he drops two swords behind him. So even though he had the best intention, it still caused a blockage because he was interfering with others' free will. He was trying to sneak away with what he thought was going to solve something, but it in turn caused conflict within himself and a blockage within himself, and that's where that Four of Cups comes from, right? Now I'm going to look into the shadow. I'm going to use this dark mirror, possibly point out things that need to be healed, things that need to be looked at. Shadow work is important for us all because there's a lot of things we suppress. There's a lot of things that we don't even look at because we don't want to revisit the pain. And in turn, our body is still reacting, or our mind is still reacting in a toxic way to the things that have happened to us, or we're in a hurt place and we're not able to fully enjoy things the way that we should because we haven't addressed and healed those parts of ourselves. It is easier to shove it all down and not look at it, but in the long run, it ends up either making us sick or causes us to react out of character or not fully enjoy our lives, right? Okay. So the card I've got for January is Obsession. Obsession can come in many forms, right? And sometimes we don't even realize we're obsessed with something. There's some idea of how life should be, or an obsession with a project, a person. We get consumed with something other than ourselves. And I think that's why you're walking away, is because you realize that something in your life has become unhealthy and you're still holding on to it. And in turn has made you feel like you're disconnected from yourself. And so I do see in January you're going to be facing that and really looking at it and looking at, like, is this love, or is this just something that I feel that I need some kind of validation from, or if I feel that I need them to be there for me to make me happy and they're not showing up, right? Now for February I've got Naked Under the Stars, and this is about being vulnerable. Maybe you've lacked the ability to be vulnerable because in the past you've dealt with toxic people, and or people that have lowered your self-esteem or made you feel that something about you was wrong. And in order to be fully present, you have to acknowledge that you are beautiful, you are whole, you are, everything about you is perfectly made in the image of God, right? So to be naked under the stars is to actually be vulnerable to yourself. Being able to acknowledge that just because someone said that you weren't enough, or someone said that you never amount to something, it, letting those things go so that you can be fully vulnerable and open up. Because in order to receive love, we have to be open to it. In order to receive abundance, we have to be open to it. And a lot of times we give too much of ourselves and not enough to ourselves in order to give correctly, right? So the last card for March, we have addicted. And addicted, this man has got all these knives in his back, right? And with that Seven of Swords, like I said, you've been addicted to toxic. You've been addicted to the highest highs and the lowest lows, no matter how much it hurts you in the process. Almost even addicted to the pain, addicted to the suffering, addicted to being a martyr. And lying to yourself by saying eventually the day will come when I'll get what it is that I'm addicted to, or I'll get what it is that I'm looking for or waiting for. And in turn, all you're doing is hurting yourself, right? And it's made you very distant from yourself, distant from people, because you don't feel fully authentic. All right, so moving past shadow work, getting into love. Let's see what we have as messages for love for the 3 months we have here. Okay, January. So for January, we have romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth investing in. With this, I'm feeling that because I told you you're walking away from a life of being discontent, you're walking towards emotional mastery, whether that be with yourself or another person, coming in the King of Cups, right? Something is stirring those feelings within you, whether it be you realizing that you're worth being loved in the correct way, right? And there could be somebody that's stirring those feelings within you. Now, it says worth waiting for in February, and this says divine timing is at work in your love life. So, like I said, letting go of those toxic people or those past relationships that have hurt you and healing them, it's changing that will to bring in something that is worth waiting for, instead of waiting for something that isn't, right? Now, in March, I see passion here. And that says, allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Maybe, like I said, you were sitting in the Four of Cups and nothing is interesting to you. Nothing that you see is worth investing in, right? And you're walking away. But at the same time, all of this healing that you're doing in these 3 months is going to reignite that passion within yourself. The reason why a lot of people get bored and discontent is because they're not living authentically to themselves. They're not doing things that spark their soul or spark their passion. And so I see that you're getting to the place where you're tired of being sick and tired, and you want passion back. You want to restore that passion back. Even if you have somebody in your midst that's worth loving, you may not see it correctly until you heal those parts of yourself that realize that love isn't toxic. Even if you've been through toxic things your whole life. Because I know a lot of times when you're in toxicity, there's really high highs, and that is so intense that the average person, the good people, don't do that for you. But acknowledging the fact that, just like a drug, it's not good for you, but it makes you feel really good. It's the same with those relationships. You're looking for that spark like you had with the toxicity, and that's where the lie comes in, right? A good person brings in more of a slow and steady wins the race, and investing in friendship and comfort instead of a roller coaster ride, right? So it's about acknowledging that maybe there are people that you're disregarding because you're used to being on this roller coaster ride of emotions. And love doesn't, unconditional love doesn't show up like that, right? So it's about keeping your eyes open and kind of monitoring the way that you're reacting to certain things, and finding out that like love has been there all along. You just never have acknowledged it because you're too busy looking or seeking for something that only comes with toxicity instead of like the connection, right? It's like surface level. Now let's get some Lenormand as well. Okay. So for January, I've got the Child. And for me, this is like the remembrance of the innocence that we all once had. Maybe it was stolen from us. But this is about feeding that inner child, like playing again, being joyful, getting excited about things in life, like walking away from things that have diminished your shine. This is the romantic feeling within yourself, right? Finding that love again for this inner child, showing the inner child that yeah, you made mistakes along the way, or like you've been through so many things, but it wasn't that inner child's fault. A lot of times our inner child is inside crying because we're not acknowledging that that innocence has been tarnished by our behaviors or letting other people tarnish it. And so the more that you heal and the more that you do things that your inner child are applauding you for, the more that you'll start to get that joy back, that excitement back, that thrive for life, right? Now, in February, I think that you're going to realize that you may have come up against a lot of obstacles, just like the labyrinth. You've been looking at an end goal and you keep running into this block and this block and this block, and maybe telling yourself, I don't know why every time I turn around I'm running into another block. But this card to me is all about acknowledging that each time you hit a roadblock you're learning a lesson, or you're supposed to, so that way you don't go back the same way that you just came from. It's about being grateful for your setbacks, being grateful for the lessons, because once you reach the destination, there'll be a whole nother destination you need to reach. It's about just enjoying the journey, like journey appreciative, destination forward, right? Because a lot of people are so focused on that end result that they lose track of the joy that they could be experiencing at every turn. And the more you heal, the more you'll realize, like, okay, I understand now why I had to hit this wall and this wall and this wall, because it made me who I am, right? And I wouldn't go backwards. Now, you got the polar bear in March, and this is about finding comfort and security and warmth and like hearth. It's more like a home or a friend or somebody to lean on, because a polar bear is strong and secure. It's almost like strength too, like finding that strength to acknowledge where we've made mistakes, or finding that person that makes us feel comfortable and home, you know. And I think the more you heal, the more you'll realize like there's a lot of love to be had in this world. And that could come through soul tribe members, family, friends, just the love for ourselves, animals, pets, babies. Like for me, my grandson, He's like sunshine, right? No matter how bad I'm feeling, I'll walk in the room and his smile just overtakes me. It makes me feel so warm, and it's that feeling of pure, innocent joy, right? Like there's no way that that baby could smile at me and I wouldn't react. So I think you're going to run into something like that come March. Now, January, we've got the card Trust. And I think that because it's showing you're walking away from being apathetic, you're walking away from constantly looking at things that you know are going to end up being spilled cups, and start like healing the things that keep you from looking at the one true cup that's from the divine. And it's trusting that when you walk away from these things, that the divine is going to bring in that great love. It's going to bring in that abundance. It's going to bring in that happiness, that home. And trusting in the divine is something that people have a hard time dealing with because they want to control things. They're like, I don't want what the divine is offering. I want what I want when I want it. But then sacrifice your whole life and sacrifice what could have been brought in to make you happy because you lacked the trust in the divine. The divine could give you something bigger and better. And they showed you sign and sign and sign that it was wrong. And that could be why the death card is so important, because it's laying down not only the people that have kept you in a cycle of repeat, but yourself too. The old self that kept you in that same cycle of repeat. Now I've got gratitude for February. Like I said, journey appreciative. Being grateful for the roadblocks. Being grateful for unanswered prayers, because I know there's plenty that I've looked and I've said, you know what, man, if that would have happened, or the thing that I wanted so bad, if that would have come true, man, it really would have messed me up, right? So it's about being grateful that the divine has so much love for you that they don't let certain things happen, right? Because our free will sometimes will want us to have some of the worst things for us, right? Now, I've got creation in March. Creation of a new life. Creation of your dreams. Starting something new. Restoring that passion in your life, right? Creating a relationship. Creating a new life. Being that phoenix. Burning the old self up and being rose again. Whatever creation means to you, March is going to be a great time to do it. And just like I said, make sure that this month that you manifest as much as possible, heal as much, as you can, look in the shadows, clear that stuff up, because this year is going to be a great, abundant year for everybody, I feel like. So stay focused, stay grateful always, because there's always something to be grateful for, whether it be the air you breathe or the sunshine, the stars, the little things, right? There's always plenty to be grateful for. Now, if you want to be entered into the subscriber surprise, if you missed last month's, all you have to do is be subscribed to my channel, like the video, and leave me a comment in the comment section. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, just what resonated with you most, or maybe what your New Year's resolution was. Any comment really, just as long as you leave one, so I can keep track of who to enter. As always, I am super grateful for each and every one of you, all of your love and support you give me on a regular basis. I greatly appreciate that. And I love you guys to the moon, stars, and Mars, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.